Hey everyone, it's Sen Types, and today I'm going to be talking about my diss track and breaking down the lyrics. This is the song Better Off Dead Than Alive, the Pokemon TCG Live diss track. The thumbnail, I'm not showing it right now, but it is, if you can see, the link to this diss track will be down below in the description. It's, I believe, the future video on my channel as well. But the thumbnail is based off of Kill Shot by Eminem about MGK. Loosely, it's just whatever. It's the first thing that my mind came up with. I definitely made the screenshot after, or the thumbnail after the video. So yeah, and also this is just a generic ocean background. Because I'm watching a YouTube video in a YouTube video, things might get a little weird, but hopefully it's all good. So the premise behind this was that if you didn't know, Pokemon TCG Live was really bad. So I decided to make a diss track about it. It was because I just wanted to. It seemed fun. I don't like absolutely despise Live, but I certainly don't like it. It's hurt the YouTube community and the Pokemon community as well, which is just really unfortunate. It makes it hard to make content, hard to watch content. Because it's just kind of ugly. Not that TCG was amazing, but we'll talk about that a little more later. Let's see, can you hear this? Hopefully you can. I think it's, sorry about like the flickering. So yeah.
I was sitting through maintenance that's 8 hours long, so in the meantime, I wrote this song.
Okay, so I said I was sitting through maintenance. It's 8 hours long. So in the meantime, I wrote this song. This is the only part that I didn't include lyrics for on this. So yeah, I decided to say that. I needed some intro. The maintenance for Live is 8 hours long, which is long. And it's also like during the middle of the day. So I believe it's Pacific time is when they update it. So if you're in Pacific time, you pretty much can't play the game for the whole day, which really sucks. I think they do this because they can't afford to pay people overnight or something. It's not like the craziest thing in the world when they do it, but the craziest thing is that they spend so long, as even during their quote hot fixes, which should only take, the servers shouldn't be down at all, but the servers are down like the whole day, so that's not great. And I wanted to point that out, but that's not part of the diss track itself.
Pokemon, you better go and fix your game. In your community forums, you're getting flamed for over a year. Your game stayed the same. You're flailing around. Come on, what's your name?
Okay, so I said, Pokemon, you better go and fix your game. Very simple line there, just saying the game's bad. So I decided to open up with something that just says the game's bad. And they really do need to fix the game as well. Some of you may know that Dan TDM, a very big YouTuber, bigger than all the Pokemon YouTubers put together, is creating a Pokemon TCG Live. I'm not sure if I call it a replacement, substitute, backup, something like that, called Twin Leaf. I've talked about that a few times on my channel. Pokemon TCG Live is it's kind of like a fix, but it's not really. Pokemon themselves really do need to fix this. And again, I'll talk about how it relates to PTGO later as well. And then in their community forums, you're getting flamed. So Pokemon has community forums, which actually became a big thing. So pretty much only live players use it for quite a while. Before they were, I don't know, they like made an announcement about it, and then all of a sudden like all sorts of random people flooded in, and they like posted weird stuff, and they like shut it down, and then it like came back, and now it's a lot of live again. But it's not just live, it's other things as well. But for a while it was just live, and pretty much just people saying there are two types of posts. One that they were having glitches with live, some of which were glitches, and some of which were just people like not really paying attention. So yeah, there are people posting about glitches in live, which obviously don't look too good in live, because there are so many glitches. Again, why the diss track was kind of made. And then there are also people posting about just saying live was bad. Some of them were really brutal, some weren't as brutal, but people were really going in on live in their own forums, which is just meant for feedback, especially because the forums are really badly run. And Pokemon themselves kind of ignored them, and they just did not treat the community well. It was not good, and they still don't do it well. I think they've gotten a little better, but it's still not great, and the forums are not good. So for over a year, your game stayed the same. Yeah, I think it's been 2 years. There was like beta and different stages of beta. For some reason, they only let like certain groups of players play. It was strange. But then, yeah, it didn't really change too much. They fixed a few game-breaking glitches, but really they didn't change major issues. They kept changing like weird stuff like animations, which weren't, they didn't even make the animations much better, but they changed them instead of like the actual game-breaking glitches. And then it came out of beta, and it still was bad. So it's, I believe right now, officially Pokemon's worst game, based on reviews. I could be wrong, but I don't think, I'm pretty sure that's right. Pokemon Sleep, although I heard, is getting close because it's also bad. So by the time this video comes out, Pokemon Sleep might be the worst. Next up, you're flailing around coming, what's your aim? Again, it's like, I don't know. So Live is weird because PCGO never made money for Pokemon, and Live doesn't make money for Pokemon. But it's also very important for the community. So what's the point of it? Because they're clearly not making it good for the community because it's just bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's another thing that just says Live's bad.
Pokemon will love your brand forever, and I know making games is a tough endeavor, but I know you got money to spend wherever, so please can you get your act together?
There we go. So, oh, by the way, my rapping obviously isn't very good. I'm not a rapper. But I thought it was funny. This is not like the best thing I've ever put out, but you know, it's funny. I could have gone one of my friends who actually like produces music to help me, but I ended up not doing that just because I wanted to get out faster. But it's not the best sounding thing in the world, and it's kind of short, but I still think there's a lot of stuff that I packed a lot. Like every line pretty much means something. So Pokemon will be your brand forever. And so obviously I like the Pokemon brand. It's cool. It's very big as well. It's the biggest possibly brand in the world. It depends how you look at it, but it quite possibly is. It's super deep with the cards, the games, the anime, other things as well, I guess. The trading figure game, which is a thing that exists. But yeah, so I like the brand. Notably, I grew up watching the anime, which is cool. And I'm also, of course, a fan of Smash Bros. Check out my Smash Bros. Content as well. But you know, I like the Pokemon brand. I like Nintendo, the brand as well. But their company, of course, is not always the best at handling situations, as with Live, as we can see. Although it is not run by Live, but it's run by Pokemon. The Pokemon Company International, I should say. And then I know making a game is a tough endeavor, right? So Pokemon decided to take over the online client from Direwolf, which is the previous company, making it, which was not in-house then. So they decided they can make it in-house to make it better, and it ended up not being better. So yeah, I like it's hard to make a game. Of course, they're not failing just because they're bad. They're also failing because it's hard. But they got money to spend wherever. So when I was saying it's like possibly the most recognizable brand in the world, it's the biggest in terms of monetary value brand in the world. They got absurd amounts of money. So why is it so bad? Either one, the people are completely incompetent, which I don't think they are. I think they're not amazing, but I don't think they're completely incompetent. Or two, they're just not spending enough money, and that is a problem. Because if they spent money, they could make it good, but they don't. So yeah, I don't know why they're not spending the money. They really need to. So please can you get your act together. Please, Pokemon, fix your game.
Forever, and I know making games is a tough endeavor, but I know you got money to spend wherever, so please can you get your act together? All these text and bugs are built like a beehive. What's the game called? Pokemon TCG Live with all this bad talk. You taking the notes out. Taking the flow. Will you play with survive?
Okay, so with all these hexagons and bugs, they're built like a beehive. Pretty much all of the rest of the lines don't really matter too much. They're like, the game's bad. And that it's like really bad. But this first line here with all these hexagons and bugs are built like a beehive, I actually really liked. I wasn't sure how to phrase it, but the idea that the game has a lot of hexagons for some reason. That's like the logo. Pokemon's logo is definitely like a Pokeball or Pokemon, but for some reason they've gone with hexagons. I don't know why. And so it kind of looks like a beehive. It's quite strange. And then it has a lot of bugs, which are obviously in beehives, bees. So there are a lot of bugs to the game as well. I thought that was a clever play on words. I think Uncommon Fossil might have actually helped me with that line a little as well. I don't remember, but it was mostly me, and I thought it was really clever. And it was just like, you know, it was a fun line, and it really encapsulates that Live is just a mess.
Your game crash, every game is pure trash. Now surpass you with less laugh, you blast off too fast. So yes, please take the mask off. Edge best in your crash, in your franchise so fast.
Okay, so a few things to say about this. There's a bit of an awkward pause after this. So I was going to have someone feature on the track, but because I ended up rushing the production of this and they weren't able to actually do it, which is a bit unfortunate, which probably would have helped a lot. I believe they're much better than me. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do it because I like rushed the process and stuff and didn't give them great warning, unfortunately. So that was my bad. But so there's some weird awkward science. Weird awkward silence after this because of that. But anyways, so I said your game crash every other game. It's pure trash. So yeah, it's bad. It crashes all the time. Live is just really bad. I was playing live the other day and it was just like crashing all the time. It's or not crashing, but it like double queues into games. I might have that talked about later, I think. But it crashes. Like you're just playing. If you're playing on your phone, it definitely crashes. Like all the time. And if you're playing on the computer, it might crash as well. So yeah, it's bad pretty much. Next up, and I'll surpass you with the last laugh. Yeah, like I think live is like anything's better than live. My goal with this was that like one day I want to be like I consider myself better than live. Like live is really bad. So like anything, even me, a small channel and the small community is better than live. And also like this is kind of weird to say, but I'm obviously a Pokemon channel, but I don't play the game as much as some other people. Meaning that if live dies, I can still like exist. Well, unfortunately, the community like really, really suffers. My channel can go on. So while Pokemon's like burning down their own franchise, I can still like come out of it, not unscathed certainly, but not with the same way. And will you blast off too fast? I really like the flow of this verse, but blast off is like blasting off. T-Virus blasting off again. The iconic anime line. It's and they were like rushing things. It was, like they were going so slow, but they're also rushing things. So, and then please take the mask off. This one was kind of weird. This is kind of strange, but the idea is that they're like hiding. So, Live did really awful communication with the player base. Which is bad. And also one of the problems we're seeing with Twin Leaf now, which is they're not really saying anything. So please take the mask off. Stop like hiding. Like Twin Leaf did an okay job. They said who the people are and stuff. But live, they hid all the workers. They didn't tell like anyone who was working the project or leading the project at all, as far as I know, other than the company, which isn't very helpful. And then so they weren't transparent about anything, and that was very problematic and possibly the biggest issue. I'm not sure. As you bask in the cash in your franchise so vast. Again, they're the biggest media and franchise in the world. They're just like, we don't care about live. We're just gonna like let you guys suffer and like die here. Well, we just chill, and it's not good. So yeah, that line. Just saying, I talked about that type of thing earlier though.
My phone heats up every game like fire. The game stays bad and the state gets there. We can't play Guardius fans. We tired. Please come and tell me, who did you hire?
Okay, so wait, was that verse quieter?
Mask off, edge bad.
No, I hope the audio level is okay. So my phone heats up every game like fire. Yeah, it's really bad on the phone. It gets super hot. This is one of the things. If anyone talks on mobile ever, with live or even it doesn't even have to be mobile. It happens with computers as well. I got a brand new computer, super good. Heated up so much when I played live. It gets so hot. Like after I play a game or two of live, on my phone, I can't put it back in my pocket because it will burn my leg. Like it's really bad. It is. I don't know what they're doing to make it like that. The game's not that crazy, but it clearly doesn't work. Now, admittedly, Pokemon isn't a great mobile game in general. It's just a long game, which isn't very suited for mobile. But the programming is so awful that it just like heats up a lot. And then the game stays bad and the state gets dire. Yeah, it's been really bad. So the game was bad for so long. It started bad and it stayed bad. And then that just made things appear worse and worse and worse as things went on. But then I have the play on words, it gets dire. But then Dire Wolf is the company that used to make Pokemon TCG Online. So I'll talk about that some now. Pokemon TCG Online, as I said, was made by Dire Wolf. And people didn't like it. PCGO wasn't good. I'm not going to say it was. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, certainly. But there are flaws, notably with the trading, which is, I don't remember if I mentioned it in the diss track, but trading was really, really, really bad in PTCGO. You'd get scammed all the time. And you'd also there was some like really sketchy stuff that we could like buy cards off of eBay. It was not good and was like against the terms of service. It was happening all over the place and really hard for Pokemon to monitor. And then also it was really slow. Like it would take like an hour for you to load all the trades, and that was bad. It was just not good. But aside from that, the rest of the game was all right. It certainly had problems. Certain things weren't implemented right. There were glitches. But for the most part, they'd kind of get patched, and it was okay. And since then, it's been shut down. which has hurt a number of communities. Actually, I'll mention that in my GLC video, which should be coming out like within a week. I don't know when I'm posting this, but yeah, so that will be out like in a week. And then I'm going to talk about TCG shutting down more as well there, but it caused a lot of problems when that shut down. And then you also can't play Guardy. And everyone like it really hates that. It's not good. I don't know if it's completely fixed now. I don't think it is. It's partially fixed. But pretty much if you play Gardevoir, certain things you couldn't like accelerate as you use certain Pokemon, and then the game would like crash all the time as well. Like extra, the game would crash anyway, but now it would crash even more if you're playing Gardevoir. It was just not good. Gardevoir was essentially unplayable on Pokemon TCG Live. I mean, still, it's essentially never been playable. Next, you can kind of play it, but you have a very solid chance of the game crashing. And then please come on and tell me, who did you hire? Yeah, like, what did they do here? Like, why is it so bad? And also, why is the only thing that changes every update the animations? Like, animations don't matter. They matter a little, I guess. But they're not even good. They get changed from something bad to something bad. Not awful, but not good. But then the rest of the gameplay stays awful because, I don't know, it just doesn't work.
Please come and tell me, who did you hire? Band cards, lost zone, random screens, get shown, whitey band, sales tone, it didn't work, on phone, game looks monotone, all budget spend blow. Now we're stuck on our own.
Okay, so random cards, lost zone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It sounds like. Well, okay, it's when you play Lost Zone, there's a chance that, and this isn't not just with Lost Zone, but pretty much if you're playing a Lost Zone, it would get, so you have a card like Comfy or Cole's Experiment and lets you like choose one card out of a certain number of cards. This is true with literally any other card in the game that lets you search or like select cards, but it was very, especially prevalent in Lost Zone. I've actually only had this glitch happen in Lost Zone. But it won't let you select certain cards to like not Lost Zone. So then like you just randomly like use Comfy and usually it gets you a choice between two cards. Nope, one of them's just in the Lost Zone now. That was very problematic and it still is a problem. People have been saying it. I don't really know the reason, honestly, but it happens and it's bad. Random screens get shown. This one happened to me the other day. So you can get rewards in the game and it says you get this reward. So sometimes randomly it'll say you got nothing. Like, obviously you got nothing, but why do I need to tell you didn't get anything when you obviously just don't get anything? So it just randomly says like you got nothing, and then the game like lags and stuff. So yeah, it just randomly shows random screens at times. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, but that's a thing that happens. Why do you ban Seal Stone? So you may be wondering, there are multiple Seal Stones. Which one did they ban? Well, they banned multiple. Actually, I don't know if they banned them, but they did. I think they banned them, and I know they didn't work. So both Sky Seal Stone and Force Seal Stone didn't work on release. I believe they both got banned. I don't remember the glitches. I don't even know if I was playing live at the time, but I know they just didn't work for some. I think Sky Seal Stone was super overpowered. I think they're both. I think you'd like use Sky Seal Stone on anything. I think you'd use it like if it was attached to a VMAX and like take extra prize with VMAXs or something. I don't know. But then the Force Seal Stone one, I think you could use it like every turn or as often as you want. I don't know. It was like super broken. I think it might just like let you get whatever you want whenever you want. It was like absolutely absurd. Maybe it was just one string or two, but whatever. What was that? Force Steel Stone didn't work. It was really, really broken. I think it might have gotten bad. I don't remember. And then it don't work on phone. Same issue where it like heats up and crashes on phone. So if you go and you're with your phone and you like walk like around, it just crashes. Like I don't know. It needs like perfect internet. Pretty much if you're on your phone, it crashes. I'm not sure if I've ever finished a game on the phone. Game looks monotone. Again, so when I said the game's thing is hexagon, that's it. Like you got these super bland avatars, which are kind of disturbing and kind of toxic. But they're like so generic. The same thing with Unite, actually, I believe, but they're like even more generic. Nothing to do with Pokemon. It's just the craziest thing in the world and just so weird looking. All the budget's been blown. I don't know. They've spent all this money on animations. It's so weird. I don't think they know what they're doing. I certainly don't know what they're doing though. Now we're stuck all on our own. Luckily, it looks like the NTDM is coming into the rescue, which is nice. But at the time, we were stuck all on our own.
You don't get what expanded means, and you don't get the online scene. It's still missing that new game sheen. Yo, it's Joe, I just unlocked Gene.
Okay, so one thing I want to say, that like verse sounded awful. Yeah, sorry. but then I said, you don't get what expanded means. So obviously, expanded is one of Pokemon's formats that is bigger, right? It's bigger than the standard format. It's expanded. It is bigger in live, but it's not exactly bigger. Like it's not the full expanded format, and it's not expanded in how you can play it. So you can't play ranked or against friends, which are both very well. Ranked's not that important, but against friends is very important, and you can't play that. So that's a really big problem. And so yeah, like expand just doesn't really work right. And that's it's really bad. Also, there are some glitches where cards just don't work. It's very strange. It used to be completely broken. I think they fixed some of that. And then you don't get the online scene. They don't. In case you can't tell from this whole video, it's bad. But Pokemon can't really tell because I don't know, or maybe they can, but they're just not good enough to be able to fix it. And they're just not willing to spend the money, which is just like so annoying that they just come on Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I love the game, but I just live isn't there. It's not where it needs to be. And yeah, no, they don't like online Pokemon for some reason. Because they didn't care about PCGO or live. Next up, it's still missing that new game Sheen. I don't know. This was a line that was kind of weird, admittedly kind of filler, but I thought it was like solid. It's just ugly. That's all there is. It's like empty and ugly looking. And then yo, let's go. I just unlocked jeans. That's my favorite line from the whole thing. So you get like honestly, Pokemon TCG Live's economy is all right. But they have these like weird like unlockables and customizables for your character, your avatar, cosmetics, I should say. So you can get like jeans. I don't know. Like you unlock, you're like, yo, I got like a shirt, like a hat. Like these are just dumb because like they're weird. They're so generic. Because Pokemon has such a like interesting brand, but they don't show that on the character design for whatever reason, which is really like like it means that now these things essentially have zero value. Um, so yeah, unlocking jeans is, I believe, you might actually start with jeans unlocked. I don't remember, but you definitely unlock cosmetics instead of like cards. It's not good. It's it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's kind of silly, and they're clearly not devoting their resources to the right place.
BV Max creates a soft lock. Unitone goes and locks their turn. And Amherst makes too much damage. Forever a better game by year.
Okay, so these are glitches. Not that last one. Forever better game all year, and I'm just a line. I've been hoping for years that Pokemon would make a good online game, and they have shown us the opposite. They are very capable of making a not good online game, but they're better than me at it, right? But they haven't shown us that they can make a good one. I'm hoping they will. But UV Max creates a soft lock, so there's a glitch with it. Wasn't, I don't believe, actually specifically to UV Max, but it was with Fusion Strike Energy. It would only be if you're playing UV Max, as far as I know. You like do Elisa's Sparkle or Fusion Strike Energy, and the game just stops working. I think you won or you lost. I don't remember. When people did it, it would just crash. The game was unplayable because of VMAX. I don't know the details, but this is one of the examples. Next up, Lunatone. I realized this was actually not exactly right. I made a video where I did it. I know it's slightly incorrect, but I wasn't that far off. There's a Lunatone that ability locks as well as wheezing. Like learn Wheezing, Mimikyu, and then like Tinglu EX, Spiritomb. Spiritomb was the big one that was ability lock. And Empoleon V, Aerodactyl V Star, which I don't think actually locked the game, but they banned it. And I think there were some other ones. I don't remember what they were, to be honest. I'm sorry if there's some sounds in the background, but you'd like return it to your hand, you'd scoop up net it, and then the game would just crash and you'd win. The same thing as UV Max, the game just crashed for no reason. I don't know why they'd code in crash the game, but they did. Actually, they probably didn't, but knowing them, they might have. It wasn't good. Next up, Enamorous makes too much damage. There's a glitch. This was, again, a game-breaking glitch, where you'd have Enamorous V, I believe it was Bronzong, and the Chilling Rain Inteleon. And you'd, like, move Aurora energies around, and for some reason, Enamorous would allow your Inteleon to like ping infinitely or something. It was very strange, but you could just do infinite damage. It was absurd. and you'd win. You'd just set up and you just win. So it was very broken. Those three just completely broke the game. It was bad. I don't know how those things got coded. I kind of get the Enamorous one. It has to do with like effects. I have no idea why Lunatone and you just stopped the game from working. But yeah, these were some major glitches that were really bad.
Right here. We didn't trust your pilot because we didn't trust the process. When we match games, we get double losses. When we win the game, the weird dude losses. The game always imports the wrong art of boss.
Okay, so this is the second to last verse. This is another, I think, one of the ones I like a lot. We need trust your pilot because we didn't trust the process. Trust Your Pilot is a YouTuber, and at the time, maybe actually not at the time, but a little before this, was the only live creator. So, in case you know, Pokemon TCG Live was only accessible in Canada. And Canada is weird. Actually, it's not that weird. But there are only a few creators in Canada, one of which was Trust Your Pilot, who was the only one who chose to do it to record on live. Actually, some other people, I think like Tricky Jim and a number of other creators chose to illegally like gain access to live, which is highly questionable. But then they stopped. So that's good, I guess, that they stopped breaking the rules. But yeah, Trust Your Pilot was still certainly was allowed access, and was like the only Canadian content creator, or one of the only ones. I think there's Lodog Fury and previously Zach Lasage, who has, I believe, since for the most part stopped making content. But yeah, Trust Your Pilot decided to stay on live and become the only channel because I believe he migrated, so he had to stay on live. So yeah, Trust Your Pilot doing live, and the only person and just being like miserable all the time. It's still one of my favorite content creators, but Trust Your Pilot was the face of live, and also one of the only people who was able to help people out with live. Funnily enough, my Uncommon Fossil actually helped out with that a lot after he migrated, but you know, we're not Canadian, right? That's not who we are. So we didn't do it right away. But Trust Your Pilot like helped people out a lot with it, and really like led the community and was the voice of like the in between the Pokemon and the community, and was able to help things out because stuff was so bad. You needed someone to just calm people down a little bit, I guess. Although it was really hard to do, and Trust Your Pilot certainly was not a fan of live. I believe he did like an impersonation video. It was kind of funny, but some cool stuff there. Check out Trust Your Pilot. I don't know if I have a link in the description, but I will certainly have a. You can certainly just look it up. And because we didn't like trust Pokemon because they weren't saying anything. When we match our games, we get double losses. So this was part of the glitch where I said it would show random screens. When that happens, I guess you match into 2 points at once and you just like lose. Yeah, that's bad. And the game will I don't know if it'll crash, but you just get losses for no reason. It doesn't really matter too much, but it means that you're going to get paired up. That someone else is now getting paired up against someone who isn't playing, and it just isn't fun. And it also causes like other glitches, and it's just annoying and just not fun. There's also the rank modes affects a little, which is annoying. Yeah, and then you have when you win, the weird dude flosses. So there's like the weird avatars I was talking about. They don't actually floss, but they dance. I don't know if they floss, but they do like weird Fortnite dances at the end of the game. It's very strange. But Pokemon decided to code that in. They're like, working game, let's do Fortnite dances. So they did that, and that's in the game. It's toxic. You can like teabag your opponent at the end of the game, but whatever. And then the game always imports the wrong out of bosses. I hate this. Actually, it's not bosses for me. It's other cards. I think Raihan always imports wrong, and actually no, bosses also like imports wrong sometimes. It just the inputting decks and exporting decks is so bad in live. It's like Pizza Joe was kind of bad, but live just doesn't really like work at all. It works somewhat, but then if you don't have the exact art, it doesn't work. So yeah, importing the wrong art of bosses, I hate that. Pokemon, please fix the importing system. It's not fun. It makes things more annoying. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not as big as the game's just not working, but it's not fun.
When we redeem packs, the cards go poof. You spent more money, so where's the proof? The game's so bad, is this a spoof? But we need to celebrate the doof.
Okay, is that the last thing? Did I say like subscribe? Yeah. So when we redeem packs, the cards go poof. So you obviously can redeem packs in Pokemon if you play physically, you get code cards, and then you can redeem them. But that didn't work all the time. I heard so many reports of cards not working right. I'm not actually sure if this was true, but it just didn't. It certainly doesn't visually show up right. So I have no proof of whether it worked or not. And so Pokemon is just like, well, that's your problem. Our game doesn't work, and we like scam you out of money, but don't worry about that. Actually, like, yeah, it wasn't great. You spent more money, so where's the proof? So Pokemon shut down PTGO. Maybe they had shut it down by the time of this. I don't remember. They shut it down, so that meant that they were spending more of their resources and money on PCG Live, but that it never improved. It just stayed the same. So I have no idea. Hopefully, they didn't just like pocket the money. That would be really bad, and they're just like lying to us at that point. But I'm assuming that's not what's happening. They just spent it, but I don't know. It didn't improve much. And then your game's so bad. Is this a spoof? Yeah, Live was really it's bad. I get just another Live is bad verse or line. And then it says we need to celebrate Bidoof. So this was released on Bidoof Day, the holiday, the international holiday to celebrate Bidoof, created by Pokemon. I said I ended on a high note. Yeah, Bidoof Day is fun. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of longer than I thought. But there's a lot where I talked about in this video, and I said at the end, happy Bidoof Day, everyone. It's not Bidoof Day anymore, but still, hope you enjoy Bidoof. Subscribe to 10 Types as well. That's some great advice, everyone. You should do this, and also check out this video and like it. Also, there's a glitch going around. I don't know if you know, where YouTube automatically unsubscribes you from people. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard this a lot. I'm sure you've heard it a lot, and I think it's happening again. So just double check for me and for any other channel as well. If you think you're subscribed and you're not, just resubscribe. And then, yeah, also Pokemon, please fix a game. It's really bad. Yeah, Twin Leaf is coming. Will it save things? Who knows? But I hope you enjoy this video. And as always, I'm excited to see you next time. Also, yeah, GLC video. Rise and Fall of GLC will be coming within a week. I promise that. It's good. It's a lot of work. It took me like 100 hours. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever produced. Maybe. I'm not sure. You'll see, though. Yeah. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff.